All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the inaugural Thoughts About Nothing podcast. I'm your host, Matt Fisherman. My co host every week will be Adam Mays.
Hello, everyone. I am the co-host.
Big day today. This is our pilot episode, if you will. It's a pretty big accomplishment for us, Mazer.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. We both have computers and microphones, so now the world gets to hear us.
That is correct. We have officially started from the bottom, and now we're here, which, is still pretty much at the bottom, but whatever. We're going to forget about that.
Being at the bottom's not so bad. You got to start somewhere.
It's true. Hey, even Drake started at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
So for everybody out there, quick little synopsis of how this show is going to go. We call it Thoughts About Nothing because, let's face it, there might be bigger Seinfeld fans on the planet, but probably not very many. This is one of the things that's bonded you and I since college is our love of Seinfeld, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we can quote probably every single episode ever made, and we do on a regular basis. So really the thought behind this podcast is Adam and I have frequent text conversations that would pretty much parallel George and Jerry sitting in a coffee shop, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
Agree or disagree?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and the only difference I'd say we get way more vulgar. They're more profanity and much weirder, more out there thoughts.
Yeah,
like anything's fair game with us.
Yeah, we're definitely the HBO late night version of the coffee shop, George and Jerry.
Yeah, great way of putting it. So, Thoughts About Nothing is a bit of an homage to Seinfeld, but it's also kind of the theme we're going with here is we might just pop off the rails and talk about anything. I will say the goal of this is to, we're going to be probably 75% sports, I would say, give or take. During the next couple months, obviously football heavy. There's a lot of sports going on. We're getting into college basketball. You're going to have playoff football, NBA, hockey, everything's going on. I'd say once we get into March and February, maybe it'll be a lot more entertainment, pop culture, music, who knows. We'll probably talk about the Grammys at some point when those are coming up. But for the time being, it's going to be mostly sports.
You love your award shows.
I love award shows. That is definitely a favorite thing of mine, and I think it'll work well on this podcast. I think that everybody out there likes award shows.
Yeah, but you love them.
Don't act like you don't. Yeah, don't act like you don't like an award show.
But I'm more closet about it. You're out there and openly, freely an award show guy.
It's because I'm not ashamed, buddy. I'm not ashamed to admit my true feelings.
Good.
So that's basically how this is going to go. We actually do have kind of an agenda every week, but beware, there will be tangents. Lots of movie quotes, I would imagine, because that's just what we do. Anything else to add, Maze, for this lovely viewing public before we move on to talk some actual stuff here?
No, I think the biggest thing is if we're going to talk about sports, we have to talk about who we bleed for, who our teams are.
It's a very good point.
And so just so everyone knows of where we stand, for me, when it's collegiate athletics, it is all the University of Florida. I am an alumni, and they pretty much can't do anything wrong. So, yeah, I'm that Florida Gator fan, but not really. I'm not that guy. But in terms of baseball, grew up a Cubs fan watching WGN, and big Rays fan, obviously, when they moved into town in '98. So, those are the big ones. Obviously, the Bucks as well. Been going to those since I was a little kid with my dad. So, big Tampa Bay Bucks fan. Anything Tampa, really. So,
yeah, I will chime in. For everybody out there, we do live in Tampa, and I was not born here, but lived here since I was really young. But we're both both grew up in Tampa, so we are everything Tampa Bay for sure. And I will, to back up a point you made, you are the exception to the rule as far as Gator fans go. A lot of them get a bad rap, mostly deserved for a lot of them. I would say you are definitely not that guy. You're very self-aware with your team. You are not the ultimate homer. So I will not lump you in with all the other Gator fans, even though you are an absolute homer when it comes to everything Gator.
Well, yes, that, and I do have the stereotypical jean shorts. Those I will rock.
I haven't seen you or break those out in a long time. Hopefully you're just saving them for special occasions, but yeah, so I would, I'm everything to, as we said. The only difference is for me, I grew up a diehard Miami Hurricane fan. Still am. Times have been tough, but I still bleed green and orange. And then for some odd reason, I have been a Duke basketball fan since I was about 8 years old. And I am now in my early 30s. I'm going to call it early 30s. Some people would probably say mid 30s. I'm going to go early 30s. But yeah, big Duke basketball fan. So as we get into the college basketball season, I will be hard to listen to, I'm sure, because I don't know if you've heard, but they're really good at basketball these days.
They've got a fairly good team. I've heard that coach is okay.
Yeah, he's new to the team, the coach, but I think he might have a future. If only I could learn to pronounce his name.
Yeah.
Krizaruski or something.
Krizaruski.
All right, well,
still one of the greatest commercials ever.
Yes, absolutely. It's fantastic. I mean, that would be a whole other thing. So before we get into, we do this a lot, and we could go down a tangent right now, but I'm going to stop us because we actually do need to get on to some sports stuff here. But one of the themes of this podcast, there's going to be two of them that we do every week. One is going to be what we call a top five segment that we're going to do kind of in the middle of the podcast. But basically, these end up starting like the road we were just going down, where that was a great commercial. Wait, let's think of other great sports commercials, and we'll end up saying, what's our top five? We do that a lot. So we're gonna have a theme every week, top five of some specific topic. The other thing that we do way too much, F, Marry, Kill. We do these quite often through text messages to each other, and they get pretty interesting. And for those of you that don't know this game, even though I'm sure most of you do, F, Marry, Kill. The F stands basically for who you'd like to sleep with. Marry, obviously, is who you'd marry, and kill is who you'd kill. So you get three choices, and you have to pick a spot for each one. No getting out of it. Our goal is kind of to make each other as uncomfortable as we possibly can.
Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart.
No. So we'll be doing that towards the end of the podcast every week. But other than that, we're just going to talk some sports, talk some pop culture, this and that, movies, music, whatever strikes our fancy. So I think we're going to start this week. We're going to go college football, I think, buddy. How do you feel about that?
Always love discussing college football.
Me too. We're both we both love everything football, but I would say we love the NFL more for fantasy football at this point in our life, especially since the Bucs have hurt us for the past 10 years. College, I'd say there's a real passion there, and I think a lot of people feel that way. It's just it's really fun to argue about and talk about. So we're gonna start. Let's talk about real quick what I would say was the game of the week last week. LSU Alabama. I thought LSU was going to look a lot better in that game. It turns out Alabama just does what they do every year, and they just beat the hell out of a good team. And what do you know? They're in prime position to make the playoffs again.
Yeah, I mean, as much as it pains me to say it, Alabama's in a great position again. They have, and it looks more and more like the loss to Ole Miss was very much a fluke. I mean, they shut down the best player, maybe even on the planet, in Leonard Fournette, who has been I mean, what was he, 180 yards a game he was averaging, and then only left that game with 31 yards on the ground. I mean, that's unbelievable. I mean, I think he had a buck 80 versus the Gators, and I thought we did a good job stopping him.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. I mean, that Fournette, my only comparison recently has been obviously Todd Gurley would be the most recent, but Fournette to me was striking. I mean, just some of the best in college football, and he didn't have a terrible game. I mean, but obviously Alabama was gunning for him, but still, I was expecting more, and I don't know what to make out of that. I don't know if maybe he's not quite as good against good teams, and if that's a red flag going to the NFL, or if Alabama's really just that good. I don't know.
Alabama's always been, and all of Saban's team have always had that strong defensive line, and I think those guys came ready to play. Maybe Fournette wasn't. I don't know why he wouldn't be to face Alabama. But he could have just had a bad game. I mean, the guy, he was as good, if not better, than Adrian Peterson was when he was at Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's a thought too.
So I don't know. I mean, it was disappointing. I would like to seen more out of LSU and Fournette, but Alabama pretty much dominated that game.
Yeah, and it's sick. Saban's just an evil genius. I mean,
he is. I hate that son of a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, it's him and Belichick are just, they're the same guy in my opinion.
Yeah.
They're just so good. Whatever. Yeah, this is the 12th year in a row. It's probably not that long, but it seems like it. 12th year in a row. Alabama's good. Whatever. Same old story. Let's move along. Let's go Michigan State, Nebraska. Now, I didn't see this game because I was traveling back from Orlando while this was going on. I hear nothing controversial at all about the ending, though. Is that true?
That's absolutely inaccurate. But I would, before we talk about the ending of that game, I would like to pay homage to our friend Joe, who we were visiting in Orlando, who called Nebraska, who he is a huge Nebraska fan. There's, I think, one in all of the state of Florida, and that's him. He called this game.
He did.
That Nebraska would win. I don't think he quite saw it coming like this, but you got to give credit where credit is due.
That is true, and yeah, we were both coming back from Orlando. You had left earlier in the day. I chalked it up to he had just lost his mind a little early because we were there for a baby shower. He's going to have a baby next month, and I chalked it up to just he's already lost his mind. He's already in dad mode and first kid's on the way, and I didn't take anything from it.
It's possible,
but maybe he was onto something. I don't know. Maybe he just knew.
I think he knew. I think there was something there. But to get back to the ending, what an ending! What a great game that was! And with all the, was he out of bounds? Was he pushed out of bounds? It's such a judgment call, and people were calling into, oh, well, is it the replay system that's wrong? And coming off the legs of that crazy Duke Miami finish that you and I watched together, you start to question what the replay officials are watching in some of this stuff. But I have to think it's working. They missed something. I mean, you're talking about that Miami game. They had to do the stop, the zoom to see that this guy's knee was on the ground. I mean, I don't think they have that type of equipment with what they're doing. Maybe they should, but I'm all for crazy finishes as long as it doesn't hurt my Gators.
Yeah, I agree. And first of all, that Miami Duke game, I mean, they nailed it. They did everything perfect, in my opinion, in that game. So let's not even bring that game up. I mean, that was just, they called it perfectly. Yeah, I mean, whatever. In my opinion, the way Michigan State got lucky as shit to beat Michigan. So them losing on, some controversy, whatever. They should have 2 losses right now. If anything, they canceled each other out, and they're right where they should have been.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, if you forget about the boneheaded play that they got a win for, the stupid punter drops a punt. I mean, they had no chance of winning. And that goes back 3 weeks ago to just college football is so awesome, the way that some of these games end. And but yeah, Michigan State, karma's a bitch. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it is, and and every week means something. And we're not going to talk about this today, but we argued about it the other day about whether it should be a 4 and 18 playoff. But I will say, keeping it at a 14 playoff, still every week means something, because if you don't win every game, you lose control of your own destiny. So, I don't know. That's why college football is great. So segueing into our next one, a team that did stay unbeaten and probably will now the rest of the year, Clemson, who played FSU. A lot of people kind of doubting their number one status. Where are you? You doubting their number one, or you think after that showing last week they're the real deal?
I mean, I was definitely thinking Florida State was taking them down. I had Florida State picked to win it. Clemson's the clear number one in my opinion. I think that they're a solid team. They were able to, other than the one play Dalvin Cook had to start the game, I mean, for the most part, they bottled him up. Who, by the way, is 1B in college football in terms of running backs. But
after that performance, there's an argument that he could be the Heisman winner, because stat-wise, him and Fournette are pretty close.
Yeah, he's unbelievable, and
overall.
And I still blame Will Muschamp that he's not a Gator, but
here we go.
Yeah, Clemson's the number one team in the nation right now.
Yeah, I agree. And look, they play. It's not even a matter. They play Wake Forest, Syracuse, and South Carolina as the rest of the regular season.
The only stumbling block might be Syracuse this week, just coming off of a big win. They're still Clemson. Let's not forget that they are still Clemson. But it is the only team.
And Syracuse is still Syracuse. Let's not forget that.
Syracuse is Syracuse, but they did beat the Canes 66-13 once.
Oh, boy.
We're going there. We're going there early.
Pick me while I'm down. I haven't had a winning – Miami hasn't been relevant in a long time. Why do you have to bring that up?
Donovan McNabb.
Oh, God. All right. This is off to – I'm going to have a sip of beer here as we wait. Another thing. We'll be frequently drinking throughout these podcasts. So,
what are you drinking over there?
I am drinking a Florida Avenue Brewing Betchy Brown ale.
Betchy Brown. I have not.
Yeah, it's a nice nut brown ale, not too dissimilar from a Newcastle. All right, so we're getting off topic here, but. Yeah, so the only possible hurdle, in my opinion, ACC championship, North Carolina, maybe. I'm not sure about them yet, but they're on my radar. They seem sneaky good at this point, but they play Miami this week, so we'll see. So to kind of round out the college football. Top four. I know they released it last night. Who's your personal top four right now? Do you have anything different from from what they released? Which, if everybody didn't see, it's Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, and Notre Dame were the top four.
Yeah, I got something a little different than that. I've got Clemson number 1, Ohio State 2. I've got OK State 3. I mean, they're 9-0. Just beat up on TCU. And then I've got Bama at number 4.
Yeah, you have to have Clemson, Ohio State, and Bama, in my opinion. I feel like, even though Bama has a loss, they obviously look the eye test. They look like maybe they're the number one team in the country again. And Ohio State and Clemson obviously are two just undefeated teams that seem to be rolling. My fourth, I hate to agree with the pollsters out there, but I think I'm going to have Notre Dame right now. I get the OK State argument, and the good news is they'll have a chance. If they go undefeated, they're getting in, obviously. But I mean, Notre Dame's only loss was to Clemson, and it was a great game. It was what you would consider a good loss. So You can't really fault them for that, especially if you're going to throw Alabama in there, who lost to what is turning out to be not a great Ole Miss team.
Yeah, and we're splitting hairs at this point in the season. I mean, all this stuff's going to work out. I was looking at, you've got to. I wanted to put Baylor in there, and I'll tell you what: if they win their next 4, here's their next 4: Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, TCU, and Texas. Baylor comes out unscathed on that. We're talking about Baylor being the number 1 team. I mean, that's
right, and trust me, there's not going to be 4 undefeated teams. So it's just hell, there might not even be any undefeated teams by the time we get all said and done. So it'll work itself out. But yeah, I mean, just as of right now, just the eye test and all that, I'm not sold on Oklahoma State. But we'll see. They're kind of, if them, there's a lot of teams like this right now, but it's kind of like that. It's like that sitcom that's in like the first year, and you kind of laugh at it when you watch it, but you're not sure if you really want to buy into it yet. You're just like, I don't know if they're gonna make it or not, but we'll see. If they get to year 2 and year 3, and I'm still laughing, then then I'm in. So we'll see how the season plays out.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Let's go quickly into some NFL stuff. Not a ton happening in the NFL, so we'll just hit a couple of these games real quick. Game of the week last week, in my opinion, Packers-Panthers. Green Bay's defense. What's happening here?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's really right now the Carolina Panthers. Let me say that again.
I don't know if I like where this is going.
Cam Newton on offense is a buzzsaw. I mean, right now the NFL has no answer for him.
Stop it.
How could a team be 8-0 and literally not have a wide receiver to throw it to?
I agree with that, and they have an interesting attack, but they have a great defense. There's no reason they should be scoring 37 points a game. I understand
it's only
they've been winning a lot of these 17-10, 20-17, so a lot of these kinds of games. And Newton's really good at controlling the game. Their whole offensive scheme is really good. They seem to get in like 3rd and 2 every time, and you're not stopping their running attack on 3rd and 2 ever. So they just continue to move chains, but still, they had 37 points in like the first 3 quarters of that game. I mean, I can't even agree. He's throwing deep balls to guys that have no business being in the NFL. I don't know what defense Green Bay was playing, but as much as I love Aaron Rodgers and as great of a comeback attempt as that was, they're not going anywhere with that defense.
No, I mean, and Rodgers put together probably his 6 worst quarters. I mean, you go back to the Broncos game where I think he threw for 77 yards, and then the first half of this game he looked terrible.
Like 40, he had 40 yards or something like that.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, then Rodgers, the light switch came on, and then he's got the ball inside the 10, and he misses a wide open Randall Cobb. So I don't know what to think of that, but right now the Panthers, I think probably on average they're scoring about 25, 26 points a game.
Yeah, well, they are. I mean, they're scoring, but it just looked bad last week. Like, it just seemed like they could have scored 60 if they really kept laying it on there late. I just think there's big problems with that Packers D.
I don't disagree.
All right. Well, we'll move along. That's how we feel. So let's talk some Bucks really quick. We don't need to talk about the game. They are what they are. My question: what do we think of Jameis right now? I'm pretty impressed with how he's played, especially this last 4 or 5 games. He's looked really good. What are your thoughts? Because you were not a Jameis fan coming out of the draft. I know you did not like that draft pick.
No, I'm still not a Jameis convert, but he has looked good. I mean, you give credit where credit's due. I mean, he really should have a lot more wins. I mean, you look at the Titans' loss, that seems like an aberration at this point. We're a much better football team than the Titans are. The Washington game, I don't even know what to say there, but I mean, Jameis played some of his best football there. I sat in the stands for that Carolina Panthers game, and Winston looked awful. I mean, it was so bad.
Yeah, and I agree, but we knew Conan, he was going to have
you're going to have
4 to 5
rookie
of those games this year.
Yeah, there's going to be rookie games, and Carolina Panthers defense is top 5, especially versus the pass game, with Norman over there shutting down one side of the field. So, but yeah, we'll see where it goes. I'm not ready to hand him over the keys to the city, but I like what I see.
Do you think we can win a Super Bowl with him at quarterback?
No.
Ouch, really?
I don't think so.
All right. I think we can.
I think it's too early to say.
It's definitely too early. I think, my opinion, if we had a Tampa Bay, not even our elite Tampa Bay defense, if we had a Tampa Bay defense from like 5 years ago where we were, in the top 10 to 12, I think we're like a 10-win football team this year. And that's his rookie year. So I think if we get a defense back and he continues to have some weapons around him, maybe get one more guy besides Mike Evans, and hopefully get Mike Evans to not drop 7 passes a game anymore, I think he's going to be really good. But, hey, time will tell. We'll see.
Yeah, and I hope the guy keeps proving me wrong. I mean, big Bucks fan.
Yeah, maybe we should keep rooting against them because it's working out well.
I'll keep on that bandwagon if it gets us another Super Bowl title.
All right. Not too much more NFL. The only other thing I want to bring up is that perhaps I don't know. I don't want to say biggest surprise because some people probably saw it, but one of the biggest stories of the NFL year, Todd Gurley. And I've called it kind of my Todd Gurley erection meter because I have him on 2 fantasy teams. And I don't know. I probably text you, about an average of 5 to 7 times a week about how much I love Todd Gurley?
Yeah, it's pretty annoying.
Yeah, well, hey, I love him. He is amazing, by the way.
Yeah, but you sending pictures with his shirt off, it gets weird, bro. It just gets weird.
I don't know what's weird about that. It got a little weird when I did a little Photoshop of me in the picture with him and his shirt off. But, I love him. I have I have a man crush on him. I have a fantasy football crush on him. He is my everything right now. And if he were to ever get hurt, I would cry. First of all, I'd quit fantasy football forever. Then I would cry. And then I would move to another country.
Would you film the last scene of Dirty Dancing with him?
I would, but I would obviously have to be the girl.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who's lifting who? I mean,
there's no way I can lift him. I'm 6'1", like 175 pounds. There's no way I'm lifting Todd Gurley. I would love to, but I just don't think I have the strength to.
I don't think you give yourself enough credit. I think you think about the testosterone from this man crush that you have, and here he is leaping into your arms. I think you can do it.
I'll give it a go. I would definitely love to.
I would love to watch it.
Anyway, I really don't want to bring him up to rub it in your face that I have him in our keeper league, and I got him in the 6th round. So congrats to me on that. Sucks to be you.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. I'm the commissioner, so I'll change the rules to screw you.
You cheating bastard.
Yeah.
Real quick, Final 4 in the NFL. 2 from each conference. Who are you thinking as of right now?
Right now, I've got. God, I can't believe I'm going to say it, but you got the Broncos and the Patriots. And then in the NFC, man, oh man, it's the Carolina Panthers. there's no one from the NFC East, so I'm gonna have to go with the Cardinals.
Well, this is going to make for shitty radio because I'm going the exact 4. So we're not even going to spend any more time on that. Just you could talk me into Cincinnati, but until I see it out of Andy Dalton in the playoffs, I can't go there. So
yeah, no. Then they put him on the ESPN cover, and Adam Jones is releasing no homo videos. So what can you do?
I have and call him Pac-Man. Come on, I mean, who is Adam Jones?
Hey,
he's
hey, we share the same name, so we're brethren. We're both Adams.
All right. Well, let's move on to one of our favorite segments we're going to have on this podcast. We're going to go right into the top 5. We're going to go through it quickly. So this week, I thought we'd do kind of a fun one. We're right in the middle of like sitcom season, even though there's barely any sitcoms out there anymore. But we're both obviously Seinfeld fans. We're both huge sitcom fans in general, I would say, if we could pick our favorite thing to watch on TV, I'd say sitcoms most nights is going to be what we choose. Is that fair enough to say? Can I speak for you on this?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. Okay. So top 5 sitcoms. We're both early 30s, so we're basically going like during our lifetime, if you will, kind of shows we've watched. We're not going anything before we were born, just because I appreciate and respect those shows, but it's before our time. I just don't get a lot of the humor and MASH and All in the Family and all that. So, go ahead, give me your top 5, bud.
Well, I think we approach this differently. We need to say this is the top 2 through 6 because
obviously Seinfeld's number 1. Right?
Number 1 is Seinfeld, I think, for both of us. So,
that's true.
So my number 2, I'm going with Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, I like it. HBO sitcom.
Yeah, I mean, it just follows the lines of George Costanza, who might be the greatest character ever to dawn on television, and then you've got it on HBO. Curb is wonderful.
That'll be another top 5 we have of greatest TV characters of all time at some point. That's definitely something we'll hit. But yes, George is he's in the Mount Rushmore discussion somewhere, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, easily.
Especially if you combine Larry David and George Costanza. All right, number 3.
So number 3 for me, I've got Cheers.
I hate that you did it this way too, by the way. I wish you did it the opposite. I wish you went 5 down to 1, but it's okay. Keep going.
Oh, well, I've messed this all up. And
that's fine. So Cheers number 3.
So I got Cheers 3.
Okay.
Then I've got Fresh Prince of Bel-Air at 4.
Ooh, very good one. Very underrated show too.
Yeah, I mean, I look at the rating 2 ways. Is it rewatchable, and are there great characters? And I love Carlton and Will.
Oh, it's the best.
So number 5 was hard to start narrowing it down. I knew my top 2, but 3, 4, 5, and 6 got a little muddy. So I've got 5 with Married with Children.
Oh, it's glad, dude. I watch it in the morning sometimes. It's on TBS, before I go to work in the morning.
Al Bundy is just one of the best. When he relives his whole 4-touchdown game every 3rd episode, it's fantastic. So
he's fantastic, and watching it now, Christina Applegate, like the appreciation for her on that show, because she, back when we were young and I watched it, I was like, oh, she's just some hot, dumb blonde. But now I realize she's just a great actress. Like, she's fantastic. And yes, she's incredibly hot too, and has aged well, by the way. She's got to be on the top 5 list of women who have aged well in Hollywood, because she looks fantastic still.
Yeah, she definitely still is still in the upper echelon. And when you watch those old shows, she still looks the part. So
absolutely.
My 6.
By the way, you don't get a 6. This didn't make the cut. So you can say this was honorable mention, but it's 1 through 5. So Seinfeld was your 1.
Okay, Seinfeld's my 1, and then Married with Children was my 5. So I've got 2 that were really close.
Okay.
And it was Friends and The Simpsons.
I can't believe The Simpsons did make your top 5 list because you're a big Simpsons guy.
Yeah, but I just don't watch it anymore. I mean, it was big when I was a kid, and I watched a lot of it, but it doesn't. I don't connect to it anymore. So it's been going on
Yeah.
for 30 some odd years. It's older than I am.
All right, I like your list. Mine's got some carryover, but actually not a lot. So I had 3 shows that were kind of didn't make the cut, but I want to mention because they're really good. That 70s show I thought was fantastic. Especially all the characters, like just all the actors on that show were great. And look what most of them have gone on to do. That was incredible. Coach, I was a huge fan of Coach.
Yeah, Coach was real close for me. Coach was like number 8. Loved Coach.
Yeah, that's probably where mine would be too. And then Full House. I mean, come on. I'm not sure if that's considered a com, but I would consider it's kind of a family show, but kind of a sitcom. I don't know. It was on TGIF, right?
I'm surprised I don't have a TGIF on my, whether it was Full House or Steve Urkel, Family Matters.
Yeah, I mean, I was never like giant fans of either one, but Full House was a good show. All right, so I'm gonna do it the reverse way.
The right way.
I think it's more fun.
Yeah, the correct way.
I think it's more fun to go from the bottom to the top.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense.
My fifth one is actually a current show. It's the only current show I have on here, and it's Modern Family. I love that show. Also Al Bundy, Ed O'Neill on that show as well, and plays a fantastic part on that show.
I don't watch the show, so I know everyone raves about it, but I'm really bad about late, sitcoms that are out right now.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, my number 4 was Friends, which you mentioned. I think great model for a show. And my number 3 show was actually, in my opinion, the modern day version of a Friends, which is How I Met Your Mother, which I thought was fantastic. I love Jason Segel. What's Doogie Howser's name?
Barney.
Yeah, Barney, but what's his name in real life?
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, Neil Patrick Harris. Love that guy, and he revolutionized the part.
NPH.
Yeah, I drew a blank. I'm drunk already. What do you want from me?
For the love of God, what is in that Betsy Brown?
A lot of alcohol, buddy. High content. It's about 6%.
Yikes.
To me, that's the same model as Friends, but it was just a little better. Friends got a little cheesy toward the end. How I Met Your Mother, even though the storylines died out a little bit when everybody started getting married to each other and all that, it still just was really funny. And there's so many quotable lines from that the have you met whoever, insert your friend's name here that came from that show. I mean, that's going to live on forever. My number 2, Cheers, which you had, which actually is a lot closer to my number 1, Seinfeld, than you would think. Cheers, like, I wanted to be Sam Malone. I still want to be Sam Malone. He is an iconic TV character to me, and I loved everything about that show. Norm, thought he was great. Cliffy Clavin, Frasier, I loved it all. Loved everything about it, but Seinfeld's still my number 1.
It's Seinfeld and everyone else for me. I mean, Cheers was a great show, and I more think of it less for Sam Malone than I do for the Norm and Cliffs of the world. I mean, I just think that
all just worked together.
Yeah, it's just such a great show. And then you got Woody Harrelson in there, and that was such a phenomenal show.
And I loved Coach. And to be honest, if Diane Lane, Diane Lane, is that her name? The first chick that was on that show? Not Diane, I don't know. Her name was Diane on the show. But if she stays instead of Kirstie Alley.
Shelley Long?
Shelley Long. Why? Yeah. Diane was her name on the show.
Okay,
but
I'm gonna go ahead and move Cheers down your list because you don't remember the actors and actresses.
I remembered her character name though. What is that? That counts more than anything.
I guess.
But if she stays and Kirstie Alley never comes on, I was never a big Kirstie Alley fan. So if she stays, probably that might still be my number 1. But anyway, that's our top 5 segment. We're gonna do it every week. We'll try and come up with some fun ones. Once we set up this podcast to where there's feedback on our website, we'll definitely take some input from you guys on what what top fives we should do. But we'll try and switch it up between all kinds of things every week. Let's briefly, really quick, before we go on to F, Marry, Kill. Let's talk about something that I know we both hit us hard. Grantland getting shut down, real quick. Any thoughts? That was one of our favorite websites to read every day, and neither one of us are avid readers, but I know we used to go to Grantland often to read their stuff. Anything to talk about with that?
Yeah, it's going to be sorely missed. I mean, it's a lot of creative stuff, a lot of fun stuff, a lot of stuff that that I enjoy reading in terms of just the Chappelle Show when they ranked that. They did the whole Saturday Night Live thing. They did a compilation on Wu-Tang Clan. I mean, it was just anything and everything that I enjoy reading about. They did something, and it was great. And they had great sports writing too.
I mean, it just bothers me, the precedent this is setting, because there's not too many. Well, there was nothing like it, to be honest. And there's some sites that do a little bit of what they did, but nobody did everything they did. And I don't know if there's going to be that creative outlet anywhere else. I'm hoping Bill Simmons, now that he's at HBO, comes up with something, some kind of news site, creates his own thing where I know he's hiring a lot of the former Grantland people. But just the creativity and the freedom, it seemed like, and this day and age, there's just not a lot of spots to get good writing. You used to you get your Sports Illustrated or your local paper. Even Playboy had great writers. So I've heard.
Playboy had writers?
Yeah, I don't know. People say that.
Huh.
The Rolling Stones of the world, all that. It's just, it's few and far between now as far as, everybody's getting plucked from everywhere. So I don't know. I'm going to miss it. Just the creative side. And they always had a cool, fresh angle to come with on stuff. So, we're both sad about it, but I thought it needed to be mentioned. Just to let people know how we think.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll come back in some reincarnation with Simmons.
Yes.
All right. This is the moment everybody's waiting for. F, Marry, Kill.
I don't know. I don't know if we have any listeners left.
Well, I hope we do. I mean,
but there's one out there. It's probably my wife.
This isn't live, first of all, so they can download.
To know how I answer this question.
Is she listening right now?
No, she's not. She's in
house?
She's in bed, and she'll be offended while sleeping when I answer my question.
I'm gonna let you go first, since I let you go first for the top five. So you give me the question first here.
Okay. So
I'm terrified, by the way, because you've had some awful ones before.
Well, this one's kind of a layup for our first show. You should be able to nail this one, but I thought I'd go ahead and tie it to our theme. I won't always do this. Our theme of sitcoms in the top five. So, beckoning Seinfeld, obviously. We're gonna go with the best guest star, and the three you have to choose from are Denise Richards, Courtney Cox, and Terry Hatcher.
Oh man, they're real and they're spectacular.
They are spectacular.
Oh man, I definitely F Denise Richards. That's slam dunk, because God, she's so hot. I've always had a thing for her. Plus, it's just an unfair advantage. The Wild Things scene. With
I was gonna say you're channeling Wild Things and Naomi Campbell right now.
Of course, Nev Campbell, by the way.
That's right.
We're terrible at names, FYI. To the listening public out there, we are awful with names. We've drank a lot of alcohol. Our memories are going. We're old. Don't hate us. God, I think I'm gonna marry Cox, to be honest with you. I don't know. She just seems like very wifely. I don't know.
So death to Terry Hatcher.
I'm gonna kill Terry Hatcher I don't really want to, but I'm gonna kill her by default. Man, I feel like she has a really bitchy side to her, and even though I probably have only seen a cumulative 15 minutes of the show in my entire life, that real or the Desperate Housewives show she was on, I feel like if that was what she was like as a real wife or a real character in real life, then I would hate her. So that's why I'm killing her. Plus, she was just on that show, so I'm killing her. Courtney Cox just seems all American. She was in a Bruce Springsteen video
Yeah,
when
but
she was younger. She was in
Cox
Ace Ventura.
Yeah, she's turned into a cat though. She's got like all the plastic surgery now, and
Yeah, but am I marrying her right now, or are we thinking about her back in her prime?
I don't know how we do this, but we're gonna go with Prime. But either way,
Yeah, I'm taking the cameo, Seinfeld cameo, Courtney Cox.
yeah, the
So
classic line of "My wife has an inner ear infection."
Yes.
So
3 people out there will get that one, by the way.
that's okay. That's
All right, you ready for this one? I think is going to be easy. I already know who you're marrying in this scenario because I think I put your all-time favorite on here. But
well, I may
I
surprise.
went with just a simple Jessica theme. I don't know why. I just had the name Jessica on my mind, but we're gonna go Jessica Alba, Jessica Biel, Jessica Simpson. F. Mary Kill. Go.
Simpson's dead.
I thought that would go that way.
Yeah, Simpson's dead. So we've got Alba and Beal. I'm definitely effing Alba, and we're marrying Beal. I'm taking JT's girl.
Yeah, Beal's like one of your favorites. I thought.
No, she definitely is. She definitely.
I figured that. I figured that's who you're marrying.
Yeah. Well, that and the whole draw of taking Justin Timberlake's chick. I mean, I'd be all over the newspapers for that.
Yeah, I don't know if I want Timberlake as an enemy though.
That's okay.
All right, as long as you can deal with it, that's fine with me.
I can handle it.
All right, so that was F. Mary Kill. That was F. Mary Kill. By the way, in the future, I'm hoping we get some theme music to all this. That's just going to involve me learning technology, which is going to come slowly, but we'll get it.
Painfully slow.
So, yes, let's move on to forecasting this weekend really quick. Let's make some predictions here. So we'll probably do this every week, especially during football season. We'll just pick out a few of the best games and go over them real quick. We're going to start with college, and I'll go. We'll say this is the 3rd best game of the week, and it's going to surprise you. It comes out of the American Conference, which somehow has 4 ranked teams this week, which I'm kind of happy about because we live in Tampa, USF. Good for them, even though they're not one of the ranked. But anyway, Memphis at Houston. Houston, 6.5-point favorite. I don't know if I understand that line.
Was it Houston undefeated and Memphis has a loss, or no?
Yes, but Memphis is ranked higher than Houston still. So obviously, the people who are voting think Memphis is better, and yet Vegas thinks Houston's a 6.5-point favorite. I'm a little confused by that line. But who are you taking?
Houston Cougs.
Giving up the 6.5? Or are you just taking them to win?
I'm taking them to win.
I'm taking Memphis both ways. Don't have a great reason other than I saw Memphis in person. I went to the USF Memphis game. They look good. Quarterback looks really good. That's about it.
They do have a good quarterback. I can't think of his name, but they do have a good quarterback.
Lynch. His name is Lynch because I wanted to know if he was related to the guy from Northern Illinois, that was Lynch.
Ah, yes.
And I still don't know the answer to that. But he looks like he's like 6'6". He plays like him, so I don't know. Next biggest game. This is a really big one. Possible letdown game. Alabama at Mississippi State. Bama's an 8-point favorite on the road.
I still like Bama, but I'm taking Mississippi State with the points.
Yep, I love Bama to win. I don't think they'll lose again. Love the points with Mississippi
Yeah.
State. Just huge letdown game written all over that one, especially after such a physical game. I mean, I think Bama will pull it out at the end, but got to take the points there. All right,
And
best game of the week. Go ahead. You had
I
something
was
to
gonna
say?
say, yeah, Dak Prescott. He's gonna keep that game close.
Yeah, he would think so. I could also see him imploding, but we'll see.
Yeah, he plays for Mississippi
Uh,
State.
Game of the week in college: Oklahoma at Baylor. Baylor 2.5 point favorite. So basically saying this is pretty even matchup.
I got Baylor winning this. Oklahoma, they lost to Texas.
Yeah, and everybody says it's a rivalry game. Yeah, I get it, but I mean, come on, Texas is terrible right now.
Yeah,
I'm going Baylor. I'm not super happy about it.
Texas lost 24-0 to Iowa State 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to defend Texas. That's for damn sure.
Well, Oklahoma is an inexcusable loss, and I know that they're playing well, but at Baylor, I think Baylor's got a good football team. I know they got the quarterback issue, but I still take Baylor.
Yeah, huge implications in that game, though.
Yes.
All right, let's go on to the NFL. Third best game, in my opinion, Vikings at the Raiders, which beginning of the year, you probably would not have thought week 10 this would be a great game, but it is a great game. Going real quick, I didn't have a line on this game because of Bridgewater. I'm going to see if there is one now, but let's assume there's not one. Who do you got?
Bridgewater's a big deal because I don't even know who Minnesota's backup is anymore. I mean, is Ponder still on the team?
No, Sean Hill is who came in for him last week.
Okay, then I've got the Raiders in that game.
Yeah, I have it either way. Either way, I have the Raiders. Obviously, if there's no line,
yeah, it's always hard for a team from the Midwest or the East Coast to go out west and win. It's always difficult. I mean,
it is. I just think the Raiders are good. I think Derek Carr is really good.
Derek Carr has played phenomenal this year, and they've got a good nucleus of players with Murray and Cooper. The Raiders might have something cooking over there in Oakland.
Yeah, the line now looks at Oakland -3, and I don't know if Bridgewater's playing or not. I'm still taking Oakland in the points there, giving up the points. You still with Oakland?
I'm still with Oakland.
All right. Cardinals at Seahawks. Huge game. Seattle -3. Cardinals win. They basically win the division. Seattle wins. They're right back in it.
I'm going Seattle only because the Seahawks don't know how to die, and the Cardinals have no idea how to win a big game. And it's in Seattle, so not any factual evidence, just more gut feeling.
Same thing. I just don't feel like the Cardinals are going to be allowed to run away with this division this early. So just, Seahawks have to win it. I'm giving up the 3 points. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. So actually 3 is really a good number there because it might be a 3-point game. But we're both taking Seattle there. And then the game of the week, possibly the one of 2 chances for the Patriots to lose this year. Pats at the Giants. Giants, I believe they've beaten the Patriots in a couple big games before.
I am taking the Giants only because they seem to be the kryptonite of Tom Brady and it's always some BS reason.
Yeah,
but
I'm with you. Did I don't know if I said the line. Did I say -8 for New England?
I'm really only kidding because I just don't think the Giants when they've beaten Brady, they had the defensive line that could, move Brady off the spot. With Jason Pierre-Paul back, it helps, but I just don't think the Giants have that fierce pass rush that that really disturb Brady back there. So I definitely am taking the Patriots.
Yeah. You're taking the Giants, you said, right?
No, I'm taking the Patriots.
You're taking the Patriots.
Yeah.
God, I am gonna take the Patriots as well. To win. God, 8 points is a lot. I think I'm gonna. I would take the Giants in a betting scenario with the 8, though.
I would too.
I don't think the Giants. I mean, I don't think the Patriots are going to cover. I think Eli has enough weapons and he's good enough to kind of keep them within distance. And I think he easily could backdoor it with a garbage touchdown somehow late. And are you proud of me? We went like 50 minutes or something, and that's the first time I would use the word backdoor.
I'm so happy we got it in, though. I'm so happy we got backdoor in.
All right. So we have this thing too where do you want to make we're going to make one crazy guarantee. Do you have any crazy guarantees for the weekend? One bold statement?
I'll let you go and see where you go.
My crazy guarantee, it just came out today. By the way, we didn't even get to Andrew Luck, who I'm disappointed about with the freaking lacerated kidney, which is unbelievable. But anyway, it just came out today that Eddie Lacy is being benched. I think James Starks runs with that position. I think he becomes like a top 7 back in the NFL for the rest of the year.
Huh.
So there's your crazy guarantee.
That.
And by the way, who has Eddie Lacy on their fantasy team? Is that you?
Yeah, but who has James Starks now?
I know. I don't care.
Why did you have to even talk about it? You've taken the wind out of all my sails, and I don't even know what to do now. I don't
have make one.
Yeah, I don't have a crazy prediction for this weekend. But I would say that, going back to the college four, you kind of mentioned a team that is way, way far out, and with a bunch of college football madness could find its way into the top 4, and that's North Carolina.
Wow.
I mean, they're 8-1. They're sitting 23. They got no one left in the regular season to stop them.
Excuse me, they play Miami this weekend.
They've got no one left in the season left to stop them.
Oh, that hurts.
They take down Clemson in the ACC title game. The Big 12 is going to eat itself with all the games that they've got going on between all the big ones. You could have some chaos there.
Yeah. That's a big guarantee. I don't see it happening because they would have to beat Clemson.
Oh, I had to guarantee
it.
I just thought we were just doing wild, hairy, crazy shit.
Well, it's a prediction. It's not a guarantee, but it's one crazy prediction, if you will. But we have to think it's going to happen. So you're going with it. It's on tape. I'm holding you to it. And when they lose to Miami this weekend, I cannot wait to talk to you about this next week.
Okay. We'll see what happens.
All right. So that is our show. By the way, we tape these on Wednesday nights. They should go up either late Wednesday night or sometime in the morning on Thursday. You can go to thoughtsaboutnothingpodcast.blogspot.com. I know that's crazy long, but for now it's just going to have to do because we're super cheap and don't want to pay for a website. You can also find it on SoundCloud, hopefully iTunes. We also have a YouTube page. So just look for Thoughts About Nothing podcast on all of those. Adam Mays, great job, buddy.
Matt Fisherman, fantastic work.
I will talk to you next week, buddy.
Yes, sir.
All right. Have a good weekend.
You too.